to work. You have to truly believe in the magic.
Hey Magic fans, and welcome to this episode of Let's Talk Magic, an Orlando Magic podcast. And today I use the word Magic fans in a completely different way. We are going to do something very different for the four of us here on Let's Talk Magic. Predominantly, we are a podcast series where the four of us, myself, Mikey, Garant and Gary, who is away on holiday, we do a podcast that's all about the NBA and specifically about the Orlando Magic. We've been to Orlando multiple times, and this series of the pod is a little different. Than we are going to be covering everything from the parks, the attractions, foods, shopping, sports, and even entertainment that you can have when you are visiting Orlando, the city beautiful. We get asked about this no end as to what we do when we go to the parks outside. When we go to Orlando outside of going to the games. Okay, so to that end, we are splitting this series of pods into three. This episode is going to be all about the attractions and the theme parks. So we are talking everything: Walt Disney World, Universal, the SeaWorld parks, water parks, and other attractions like, for instance, the Kennedy Space Center. As many of you will be aware, we partner with Attraction Tickets. They are the UK's #1 attraction ticket and hotel provider for Walt Disney World, Universal Studios, SeaWorld, and Disneyland Paris, along with many other popular worldwide attractions, including some homegrown ones in the UK here, like Thorpe Park and Alton Towers. Attraction Tickets do also sell Orlando Magic tickets at a very, very competitive price. And when the fixtures are released, those tickets will be on sale. So you just have to wait a little bit longer. Mid-August, that the schedule will be released for the basketball. So whatever attractions you are looking to book, please use our link in the description of this podcast and to see what offers there are and to hit Attraction Tickets. You can also visit our website, letstalkmagic.com, for all of our affiliate links, discount codes, including things to the NBA store and Fanatics. So, Mikey, before we get into this, how you doing, pal? Busy week?
It has definitely been a busy week, mate. Yep, it's busy at work. It's been pretty toasty here. I've got up to 28.
Hot work, painting.
When you're decorating someone's house in the heat, it's hard work. So, yeah, I'll be glad to let the weather cool down this weekend, to be honest.
And Garant, how's it been in the aircon office?
It's been all right. The fan's been working overtime, in fairness. Bless it. But, yes, lovely. I can't complain about this hot weather. It's definitely in Florida, isn't it? But just without the real aircon.
Without the fun part of it.
Yes, that's it, mate.
And as I mentioned earlier, Gary did want to be on this episode doing this with us, but he is away on holiday at this moment in time, so he has sent some thoughts in. So now I think we really should get into it. So let's start with the theme parks, and we are going to start with Disney World. We'll do a quick park overview of each one, and just drop in a few, let's say, of our tips and likes. You look handsome as ever, G. I've got mine behind. My ears are behind.
If we're going to Disney World, mate, if we're going to Disney World, you've got to put your mouse ears on, haven't you?
Absolutely, pal. It's got to be done.
Yeah.
I've got Pirates of the Caribbean ones behind me, Mickey Mouse ears. And, a couple of other bits besides as well. So, yeah, good man. Love it. So,
Brilliant.
We're going to start with Epcot. What do you say about the park? Fun meets science, space, the land, the seas. It's a park that plays host to 3 annual events, being Flower and Garden Festival, Festival of the Arts, and the hugely popular Food and Wine Festival. G, talk to me about your love and preferences for Epcot. Where'd you go with it? What's your start point?
Well, first of all, do we know what Epcot stands for? Let's just take this back.
Hey,
come on, then.
The Experimental Prototype City of Tomorrow.
Community of Tomorrow.
Community, sorry.
Nearly.
Yes.
Oh, botched it.
Hey, I can live with that.
Yeah. No, Epcot's superb. But, I mean, one of my first tips, obviously, you go to any park in Disney World, is you grab a map. And, I've collected these from my trip last year. Grab the map. Obviously, it's got a lot of information on there. It's got details of all the rides, everywhere you can go to eat, everywhere you can go to have a drink, all the shops. And especially needed, really, I think, in Epcot, because there's so much choice. What with the World Showcase, you've got how many countries? Mexico, Norway, China, Germany, Italy, the American Adventure, Japan, Morocco, France, the UK, Canada. It's like going on a worldwide tour in one lagoon. Absolutely brilliant. Lets you, talk to people from different cultures. You get to try their foods, go into their little gift shops. There is a Welsh shop there, so if you are in the UK, have a go in the little Welsh shop. There's postcards from Caerphilly Castle.
Do you feel at home when you go in there, G?
Oh yeah, you go and talk to your fellow countrymen, don't you? You just do. It's really sad. Obviously, there's a pub in the UK.
Nothing wrong with the Rose and Crown.
The Rose and Crown. That's it. You can get fish and chips in the UK if you're missing a little bit at home. They've probably got Coronation Street on at 7:30 in the evening. and a picture on the wall of some dogs playing snooker. Epcot, let's go back to it in general, right? So Epcot, it's brilliant. And so it's good for adults, it's good for children. For adults, obviously, if you want to do the World Showcase, you can do drinking around the world, for example. But
never done that.
No, a lot of people... Oh, you have. You got me then. As you mentioned, Paul, you get all these sort of festivals going on, and you can sample all sorts of different, foods, drinks, etc. And then that's before you start thinking about the rides. And I think the best ride in the whole of Walt Disney World as a whole, from the 4 theme parks, is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Incredible thing.
Requires you to get your boarding group. I think that's still the case at 7 a.m. or 12:30. You get put into a boarding group. You're called upon when it's your time. But that ride, you can literally do it once on your visit, and that's it because it's so popular. Absolutely brilliant. So some other highlights for me: Remy's Ratatouille Adventure in France. That is a very, very good ride.
That's my underrated ride in the park. I think that is really underrated. I love that.
Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. My kids like soaring in Living with the Land. Obviously, you can do all sorts there, and you learn a little bit, obviously, about fruit and vegetables growing, that sort of thing. Test track at the moment. What? What?
Why?
It's
Why do I want
educational.
to...
It's educational as well, isn't it?
When we were last over there in November 2022, we had this discussion, Mikey and I, and the discussion went, Mikey says, it's really good. My view is, why do I want to spend 20 minutes riding around a greenhouse when I'm in Disney? It's as interesting. Watching vegetables grow, where I'm not actually doing it at my son-in-law's allotment, is about as interesting as watching Mikey's paint dry when he's at work. No! That is 20, 30 minutes of my life I'm never getting back. The only attraction to it is, as you've said, the aircon side of things, potentially. No!
Yeah. I know, chill out. Yeah. But other rides, let's move on swiftly, shall we? Just move on.
It's nostalgia. I like it because it's nostalgia. It's one of the first rides I ever did at Epcot.
Yeah, I do get that.
It's not as good since they removed the alligators from there about 7-8 years ago. There used to be baby alligators when you went through the little red tunnel with all the fish swimming around.
Gee, you'd be hiding behind the seat at that point.
Absolutely. You wouldn't be on the ride.
I would, yeah. Other decent rides, Turtle Talk with Crash. That's a bit of a laugh.
Underrated.
Totally, dude.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Probably overrated ride for me, Mission Space, if I'm honest.
I've never done it, so I couldn't tell you.
Which side do you do, G?
Oh, you've got to do orange, haven't you?
You've got to do orange, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The only ride that comes with bath bags in it.
Yes. Yeah.
Mad. It's if you are at all motion sick, do not do the orange side of Mission Space.
Do the green.
Do the green side. And even then, there are some G-forces to it, but nowhere near as intense. If you get motion sickness, I would suggest that Mission Space is an absolute miss for you. I love it, personally. I really enjoy Mission Space.
What's the other side like, compared to the orange?
I've never done it.
Have you
No,
not? So, all right.
no, we did it. We did it last year with the kids because we didn't know how they'd react, and
You go
They're
you
very
take a
tame.
slingshot around the moon, don't you? You go around the moon.
very tame.
And on the orange side, you go out to Mars.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. And then I suppose the
You
last
are not
one
telling
then,
me that you don't actually leave that building, are you?
It's a Disney magic, mate. And then Spaceship Earth. How could I not mention that?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's the centerpiece of Epcot, the big ball as you walk into the theme park. The ride's all right. A bit like the other one, Paul. Really, it's educational.
See, I don't.
It's air
This is where I'm
conditioned.
bizarre.
And it's air
This is where
conditioned.
I will accept that I'm a little bit odd here because I really enjoy the Spaceship Earth ride. I really enjoy it. I don't know what it is. I just really like it. I think it's because it's probably classic Disney.
Yeah.
It's, the animatronics and that little bit of information. I just really, really like Spaceship Earth. Yeah, I always have done. You were there more recently than Mikey and myself, G.
Yes.
Was the Moana attraction, the walkthrough Journey of Water open?
It was being built, and they had the
Because that looks beautiful.
Yeah.
they had the blue walls up around it, but you could see something was going on in the background. But that was about 15 months ago. So yeah, it's probably.
So it was just short of being opened. You just missed that, did you? Because that looks beautiful.
did.
That looks some. I don't know about you guys. I absolutely love Epcot at night. I think there's something about the place being lit. You go around the World Showcase and there's there's the torches lit up, the big beacons, and I've just never failed to enjoy whatever firework nighttime spectacular they've had running at the time.
It was always great at night, but I think since they put the lights all over Spaceship Earth at night time,
Yeah,
they light that up. And I saw a picture the other day, and they put the Moana, it's like the swirl with Tahiti on it. They put that on the side of it. It's just little things like that. It's really clever, but yeah, that was a really nice touch that they've added. But yeah, it's definitely a park to enjoy at night time.
It's my favourite park at night. I adore it.
Because when we went in 22, you got to see the fireworks in the evening, didn't you, that night? And it was one of those firework displays where it was getting a lot of criticism from Disney fans, but you came away and really enjoyed it, didn't you?
I thought it was spectacular.
Yeah.
I enjoyed. Again, it was very different to Illuminations Reflections of Earth, and I know that they now have a new show since, but I really enjoyed the previous one. I thought I could have done without the orrery things looking in the middle of the water during the daytime, but at night when that show was on, they were beautiful. Or the fountains coming from it and the lighting effects, it was just stunning. And I also really liked hearing, say, the songs from Disney films done in parts in the language of the country that film would be set in. So I just thought that was really good. It has some nice touches, but again, the other thing I really like about Epcot, and I don't know if you've done this, G.
Yeah.
I know Mikey's been with me when we went to the American Open Air Theatre during the Food and Wine. There was the Eat to the Beat concert series. I just think that's a brilliant touch in both Flower and Garden and Food and Wine, that they put these free concerts on, half an hour, 3 times a night, by not often a very well-known artist, and you it just adds something to the whole park of an evening time. I really enjoy that.
Yeah. The only other thing to mention about Epcot is it's a hub for all the parks and all the hotels. So if you're getting a transfer in from your hotel on iDrive, for example, you can go to Epcot knowing that there's going to be a bus going to any other Disney park or Disney hotel. Some buses don't run straight to a water park, for example. So it's got a big bus bay, and you can get to other areas in the Walt Disney World complex, probably every 20 minutes or so.
The other thing I think we've got to mention about each of the festivals that they have at Epcot is the different food and drinks that are on offer. Each are individual to the festival that's running at the time. Mikey and I we certainly ate our way around the world during Food and Wine. We definitely tried a few bits. One thing I would say is that a lot of the items they're small, but probably shareable and worthwhile having one of to share, so as you can try lots of other things besides, because it's also not cheap. So my tip for that would be set yourself a budget and then look at the menu, look at what's available, and pick your must-haves, but have them as a share, so as you can then try plenty of other things, because it can get extremely expensive. Mikey, where else did you like to eat? What else? What was some of the places?
All over the place.
Except
I
that
like
tea you bought.
Oh no, we'll tell them the story. So
That was horrendous.
where were we?
We went to see
Boys to Men at the open air theatre.
You fanboys, you.
Oh, it was great. They're honestly really good. They're brilliant live.
Really, really good. And we went to get some drinks, didn't we? Me, Rob, Heather, and Becky said, "Oh, bring me back something refreshing." Well, Becky drinks tea. She doesn't like coffee, so we went to the Joffrey's cart. And I was like, "Oh, they got an iced tea." She likes tea. I'll give that a go. Peach iced tea came back, and it was the most disgusting thing we've ever tried. And,
even I didn't finish it. You bought some horrendous mint tea thing before.
Oh, that was dreadful. That was from
Morocco. That was from
it was
Morocco
from Morocco.
Part. I finished that.
That wasn't my choice, though. I will.
That was effectively like drinking mouthwash, but it was mint, I can force it down. But that peach thing was disgusting.
It's like drinking a frozen Listerine. it was horrible.
We did also enjoy for a lunchtime thing. The boulangerie and patisserie in the French section. The sandwiches and cakes in there, unbelievable. Really, really good. And
there's also
my tip for the evening is, if you want to sit and watch one of the concerts rather than being in, hit Regal Eagle for American style. I have to have the pulled pork burger, something of that nature, and then you can sit at the tables outside there and watch one of the concerts. Really good use of your time.
Yeah. There's a restaurant in Italy as well, which I've been to a long, long time ago. But when I went, it was some of the best Italian food I've ever had.
Good cocktails in the Italian section as well.
Yeah.
Really good.
Germany have got, if you've got a sweet tooth like me, Germany have got a lot of really nice sweet treats.
Stuff you bought from the Werther's shop.
Yeah, that was really nice. But I would say if you're from the UK, don't bother, because it was very much like Butterkist. It was fine if you like Butterkist, but there are so many other sweet treats in their little bakery section that are definitely worth trying. So if you like Werther's and caramel and all that sort of stuff, yeah, that's definitely a way to go. But I think Epcot's definitely a park suited for more of the adults. I think kids will enjoy it, and there's lots of rides there, like Frozen Ever After. You got the three Caballeros in Mexico.
Yeah.
You got Figment, which is definitely a big hit with the kids. Paul hates it.
I don't like it either.
You don't like it either, even though it's like one of the first rides.
No.
See, G mentioned earlier the Turtle Talk with Crush. I love the going into the seas via
Nemo.
The clamshells on Nemo. Yeah,
Nemo's really, really good as well.
The time I did the Figment, there was a lady in front of us. She had a Figment T-shirt. She had a Figment hat. She had a Figment lounge flag. She was Figment crazy.
It was basically the Figment version of G. Magic stuff.
Full kit.
Yeah.
We won't repeat the last bit.
Look at me being all polite.
What is this?
Anyway, I feel that we should now move. We'll move parks. Let's go to Animal Kingdom, which I would call they're the most relaxing of the Disney parks. So much more than just a zoo. It's a cracking theme park. Now, again, Mikey and I managed to spend a bit of time together in there. Mikey, talk to me, Goose.
It's definitely a hot park. I wouldn't say there's a lot. If you don't like heat, go to Florida.
Avoid Toy Story Land, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Yeah, but I would say if you find the heat gets to you the most, Animal Kingdom's probably the park where you might need a break the longest. It's quite a big park. There's a lot to cover. You've got Avatar. You got the two rides there, Flight of Passage and the
Navi
River Journey. You've got Kilimanjaro Safaris. That, to me, is probably the biggest attraction to Animal Kingdom. The biggest tip with the safaris is you want to go first thing in the morning when the weather's cooler. The animals are out roaming around more. They've just been fed. You'll probably find they're a lot more active in the morning than they are later in the day when the heat starts to pick up.
If you can get the very late ones as well, the last part of the day, they do tend to start being a bit more active again then. But, mate, I'm with you there.
But
early ride.
That's the time to do it. That's the time to do it. It does throw you around, so if you've got back issues
on the back,
but yeah,
on the back
exactly.
Road, it's surprising how much movement there was.
There was, yeah, and you got our weight getting thrown around back there as well.
Yeah, we weren't a light row, were we?
No, exactly.
You, Rob, and myself, we were not a light row.
But yeah,
front row of scrum.
And then you got Everest, which is a really, really decent roller coaster. Cali River Rapids. You don't get as wet if you like a water ride. Cali River Rapids is up your street. If you're not bothered, there isn't a lot more to it than other.
Cali River Rapids is the only wet ride I've ever come off completely dry, and I may as well normally swim round a wet ride. I'm that guy you do not want to sit next to on a wet ride. I've never got wet on that thing.
Have you not ever?
No. It's a good ride, but it's not Popeye, is it?
I'm not a fan. Not a fan
it's not worth queuing very long for.
No, not at all.
It really isn't.
I'm not a fan. I don't get that one.
I also think, other than maybe Flight of Passage being the exception, I think all the other rides in Animal Kingdom, you could probably get away. You could probably do most of them in one day if you planned it right. The queue times don't tend to get up quite so much at Animal Kingdom as they do at, say, Magic Kingdom, some of the rides in Epcot. So
I agree with you. I think Animal Kingdom is that part that you can do comfortably in a day.
Yeah.
Doing everything, taking in every attraction, I think you can comfortably do it in a day and still have plenty of time to sit down and take in a few treats and enjoy the good food. Now, I know that you and I were particularly fond of a visit to the Satuli canteen there, Mikey. Cheeseburger pods.
Those cheeseburger pods. The crisps that come with it, I'm not quite so sure about, but the cheeseburger pods are unbelievable. And the frozen. Now, Paul, you'll remember the name.
Night
Frozen slushy.
Night Blossom. From Pongu Pongu next door.
Amazing drink. Yeah. If you want something to cool you down, other than a beer,
again, that's a shares drink. It's probably too much to have on your own.
Yeah, a lot of these snacks we talk about are normally, I would say, and this will probably go up, but round about $7, $8, $9 at a time. So we're talking about fairly expensive drinks and snacks. But that's why Paul's sort of saying share them, because if you want to try different things, then that's definitely a way to go. And even with the cheeseburger pods, if you're not a big eater, this is a tip throughout the parks as well. You actually might find that going for kids' meals
absolutely
give you maybe just as much, if not better, value for money than going for the full-size adult meal. So, like the kids' meal, I think you still get 2 cheeseburger pods.
I think you get 1 cheeseburger pod, but you get a bag of like fruit or something else instead, rather than the weird crisp chip things, and you get a bottle of water, which is great just to stick in your bag, so you've got something there. It's a later point.
But if you want a light bite, go for the kids' meals.
But if you're a pig like us, pair, you definitely want both cheeseburger pods. We weren't sharing those.
Not at all.
Gee, what about yourself?
I'm just trying
to
think of what Mikey's missed out on there. Obviously, the Tree of Life is the centerpiece, and within that, you've got It's Tough to Be a Bug, which is
about to go though, isn't it?
It's about to go.
Soon going.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
which is a shame because it's a ride that the kids really enjoyed over the years. And
it's 20 minutes that.
In aircon, isn't it? There is another place you can get aircon though. You can go watch The Big Blue and Beyond with Nemo in the theatre, and that is a real good half an hour in very nice cold aircon. So if you do want to take...
Those seats are a killer, though.
They
are not
Yeah,
comfortable.
they are. Yeah.
They are.
They are really hard, uncomfortable metal benches.
Yeah.
But, mate, Festival of the Lion King gets me every time.
Yeah, so just going to come on to that. Festival of the Lion King. I'm not going to lie, it's not my favourite. I'm not a massive Lion King fan. My wife loves it and the kids love it, so we always have to do it. And then Dinoland USA. I love Dinoland USA, especially Dinosaur. That ride.
Mike, you've not been on that, had you, before, Mike?
I'd never done it before
Brilliant.
2022, and I come off. Go on. Tell the story, Paul.
I took Mikey and my son-in-law Rob on both of them for their first time. I'm saying it's all right. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. The ride photo, I had
brilliant.
to download
Have you got it?
deliberately. Had to. Yeah,
Right, you're gonna have to put this on the.
We'll get that on there. We'll get that.
I'll put it over the top.
The ride photo. There is Rob and Mikey are just sat there almost looking at me as if to say, "Why? Why did you even bother saying we should do this?"
It was dreadful.
Abject boredom. This pair.
What?
Staring into space.
Absolutely.
It's like, but that ride's
really?
going as well soon.
Yeah, but you get
isn't
thrown
it?
around
Yes.
quite a lot. I quite like that,
I
right?
liked it. I think it's all right.
Yeah. But other than that, obviously you've got you've got parades in Animal Kingdom as well. They usually happen about 12 and 3 o'clock, I want to say. So twice. Other than that, just drink plenty of water. Like you guys said, it's really hot there. And make sure you go on Expedition Everest a couple of times, at least.
Absolutely. And it's one where if you are wanting to do it a second time and the rest of the family aren't wanting to do it, single rider can save you a lot of time. Now, I want to just mention a couple of treats that I absolutely love in this park.
Come on, then.
So, when you come off Kilimanjaro Safaris, there is the Harambe Fruit Market, I think it's called. The grilled corn on the cob with African spices. Oh, wow. That is a really tasty snack. Really enjoyed that. Big fan of that. Asia, Mr. Kamal's fries. Really, really good. Again, we get ours, and there's a little tucked away seating area just opposite it that overlooks the water and across to the Tree of Life. It's just a great setting. Nobody sits there. You sit there alone. It's these lovely seasoned fries and like a kind of a very sweet curry dip. And I can't remember what the other dip is that you get, but really, really good. Really good. They're essentials for us. We have to do those.
Brilliant.
So, right. I would also say one last thing that we've not mentioned, considering it is a zoo, don't miss the animal trails.
Yeah.
The tiger trail in Asia and the gorilla one as you come around from, I think it's from Kilimanjaro Safaris in the Africa area.
Yeah.
They are excellent and just a nice walk through, a bit of different pace. And if you are, like Mikey and myself, very fond of a coffee, there's a very nice trail directly opposite the Starbucks where nobody goes. The turtles, the big tortoises are down there, stood under the Tree of Life. Nobody goes down there. You can stand and have your coffee and cinnamon bun or whatever else you've bought from the Starbucks there and relax. Nice way to start the morning. Nice way to start the morning.
I thought we were doing food next week, boys.
We're doing the food within the parks. This is
This is just a teaser.
Yeah.
This is. Hey, I can't not mention food when we're talking about. It's a big part of the parks.
It is.
for me.
It is. And they're really sound recommendations as well. I'll vouch for that.
So now we are going to go to probably Disney's thrill ride capital, full of big ticket rides and attractions, Disney Hollywood Studios. Gee, I'm going to come to you first, although I have got some thoughts sent over from Gary on this particular park. So I'll probably interject with those as we go along. So, mate, take it away.
Wow, this for me is the best park from Walt Disney World. The amount of rides, thrill rides. Obviously, there's something for everybody, especially there's Toy Story for the kids. There's Star Wars for the adults. The kids, yeah.
The big kids.
Yeah. So obviously set out in a couple of different areas, Sunset Boulevard, Hollywood Boulevard, Toy Story Land and whatnot. You got rides there like the Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster, which I think has just been refurbished and it remains an Aerosmith you know, who are focused in on it. You've got
Love on a roller coaster. Can't beat it.
absolutely brilliant, isn't it? Obviously, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. You guys did that when you were over there. I was lucky enough to do that with a family back in January last year. The rides there, Rise of the Resistance, Smuggler's Run. My gosh, they're just absolutely phenomenal. Something you've got to do, even if you're not a Star Wars fan. But for the Star Wars fan in your life, you know, you've got to take them there just to be there to feel like you're walking around, you know, almost like a set or anything. Obviously, there's some additions there. You know, you can do your lightsaber building. I did have a quick look how much it costs. It's actually gone up. $249.99 plus tax.
Insane. And then you've got to get it back to the UK.
And you do get a case with that, though, apparently. When I did my
yeah.
Alternative.
I hope I get Obi-Wan. I want a droid.
Well, you can get a droid. The droid making at the droid depot is $120 plus tax. And that just comes in a droid cardboard box. But you can also buy a bag or anything like that. Some additional features are available if you want to make your droid have a bit more of a personality. But it's something I'd like to do next year when I go with my little boy. He wants to do the droid making. I did want to do the lightsaber, but I might be put off by that price. I'd rather buy another Orlando Magic jersey. I'm telling you the truth, isn't it?
All 10.
Toy Story Land was the first time we did that last time around. I can't even remember now. Obviously, they've got a massive roller coaster there, Slinky Dog Dash, which gets very, very busy. Try and hit that one early if you can. Toy Story Mania, Alien Swirling Saucers is there. And a ride that I miss, the Great Movie Ride. That was an absolute classic. That's been replaced recent years by Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, a ride I was very impressed with. It's the same sort of concept as the Ratatouille
Nothing
ride.
can stop us now. Honestly, we came off that. That's all I had running around my head all day.
And so is everybody else.
You've got to do that again.
If it's in my head, everybody else can have it. So here we go again. Nothing can stop us now. You know what? You think I'd be a little bit more self-conscious, but hey, no, doesn't happen.
See, I think that ride is 10 times better than the Great Movie Ride.
Do you?
Yeah,
I mean, I like them both. I like them both. It's a shame the Great Movie Ride went, but you know, times change. You got to move on, haven't you? But I like them both.
My only thing about the Mickey and Minnie ride, I would say if you can try and do it a couple of times, because dependent upon where you are sat in the train, you get different experiences. There are parts, if you're at the back of the train, that you've come into one of the rooms and all the dialogue has gone, and it's starting to change.
The timing's not quite right.
Because there's one section where you come back into it and it changes to an underwater section, I think it is. And if you're at the back of the train, you don't see where you're going from to come back to that to start with.
Yeah. So going back to the park, Tower of Terror is probably my favourite ride. It's just a classic.
Love it.
Just, you know, you go in there, the staff are just no emotion on their face, you know, usher you in, a bit of aircon, a little bit. It's not that cold, is it? But and then the whole experience and the build-up video is absolutely superb. Don't want to spoil it for anyone, but that is easily one of my favourite rides. And then the last thing to mention, I suppose, at the end of the day, they've got Fantasmic, which can be found, which is just behind the Tower of Terror and where Beauty and the Beast Live is. I think the theatre opens some 90 minutes before the performance, and it does fill up very quickly. So probably a tip would be to get there early to get a decent enough seat. Yeah. You probably will have to sit down and sweat for an hour or so, but you can get, you know, snacks and drinks and whatever else as you wait for the show, which is, again, a really good show, isn't it? So
have you ever done the wet zone at the front?
No, I haven't.
Where you sit two or three rows in. If you are sort of, I think it's about within the first 5 or 6 rows, the fountains that they project, you come out quite wet, especially if the wind's in slightly the wrong direction. We didn't realise that one time. And,
I was expecting to
sat
say
down the front.
Shamu came along and splashed.
Oh mate! Again, he killed me. He killed my camera. That whale did when we sat in the splash zone one time. But mate, I'm going to read what Gary sent me because he's dropped a few thoughts in. As I said, when he goes to Disney Hollywood Studios, he bases everything around going to Galaxy's Edge. Bases it all around Star Wars, and in his word, if you do that, you won't go wrong. Rise of Resistance, great. Get there early, he says. Tick it off. It's a ride that it can have a few breakdowns, without doubt, but it's incredibly immersive. It puts you totally into the Star Wars story. And as somebody who, I remember sitting in the theatre in 1977 and watching the spaceship come over and thinking, wow, I've never seen anything like this before. I've always been a Star Wars geek as a result of that, and it just blew me away. I absolutely loved it. So I get totally what Gary is saying. Smuggler's Run, he uses single rider for that. Tip on that one is, don't mind if you do that, don't expect to get either pilot or gunner. You're probably going to be the engineer at the back of the ride. I might be the only one out of the group who was disappointed with that ride. Outside of the theming and being on the Falcon, I was sort of very underwhelmed by the ride itself.
I think unless you're a pilot, I think it's sat in the back 2 rows. It's not really worth the queue, is it?
I was disappointed.
Especially when we went on, because me and Heather flew the first time, didn't we? And I think we crashed once, maybe twice. So you all sat at the back with nothing to do other than the gunners shooting,
it's far more
trying to shoot the train.
Well, I was a gunner on that one. It's far more entertaining having me as a pilot because I tend to treat it like the Dodgers. If it's there, I'm hitting it. Yeah. Gary also says that the Ronto wrap for his choice of eating in Galaxy's Edge is advertised. He's also tried both milks. He preferred blue to green. He thought green was a bit floury, blue far more refreshing. And I don't know whether you did this, G, or not, but Gary booked into the cantina as well. Do need a reservation for it. He had in there a cool blue milk that came with a cookie, and he describes it as being really good. When he goes back, though, he is definitely hitting up the otherworldly cocktails that they do. And he also says, again, I would agree with this one as well, keep an eye out for the Star Wars characters that are just wandering around Galaxy's Edge. Mm-hmm. You end up with some really interesting interactions as a result of those being just wandering around. It's not like queuing up to meet Mickey or something like that. And as you've already alluded to, he said, bring your wallet if you are going into Star Wars shops. They are amazing, but they are not cheap.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's 2 we forgot. Star Tours. Don't forget Star Tours
he
as
did
well.
mention Star Tours.
Yeah.
And the character meet and greets, because they have Kylo Ren, Darth Vader,
Chewie,
BB-8. Yeah. And BB-8. They are definitely worth queuing for.
Yeah, a photo with Darth Vader. Brilliant. His presence, you're there and you're like, yeah, wow, this is great.
It's crazy, isn't it? It is crazy how good it is. It definitely is. And also if you're a fan of The Mandalorian like I am, when he's come out, he gets mobbed when he goes out into Galaxy's Edge.
The thing I'm going to mention is, G, as you're going next, and I don't know if you've tried this, Gary says to try the giant Pop-Tart from Woody's Lunchbox in Toy Story Land also. So one for you, mate. One for you, there. Keep the blood sugars up.
Yeah.
So the other thing I'm going to say is I'll always take the 20 minutes of aircon in Muppets 3D. Love the Muppets. I'm that generation again. And anybody else a big fan of the Frozen sing-along? I think the narrators of that are so funny. Every single time. And again, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, sat in aircon. Mm-hmm. Can't beat it.
Yeah.
So cool. Excellent. So let's move on to, how else can you describe it? The ultimate family theme park, home of the Disney and Halloween and Christmas parties, Magic Kingdom. I first visited this. I first visited Walt Disney World when I was 36. Our first night, we've just got off the plane, throw our bags into the hotel, into Magic Kingdom, and I'm not going to lie, I teared up. I was quite emotional as we walked through the gates, and after all these years of wanting to go, I finally got to see the castle. What I could have done without was my then 5-year-old daughter looking at me some few minutes later when Mickey Mouse appeared, me getting all excited and her going, "Dad, it's just a man in a suit." No, it's not. No, it is not. So, you guys are both young families. Mikey, Magic Kingdom, where are you on it? What's your thoughts on the place?
For us, it's the first park we visit. So when we plan our holiday for 2 weeks, Magic Kingdom is day one, without a shadow of a doubt. It's the one we look forward to. It is the most magical place on earth, without doubt. It's just the vibe, and everyone just, I don't know, you walk in, you see the castle, you walk down Main Street, USA, you can smell food, you can smell like the corn dogs from Casey's Corner, bright blue skies, and then as you walk around the park, you got Tomorrowland, and it's just it is the best park for me. It's Disney summed up in one park. The other parks are awesome, but I think for a park that probably suits every generation, that is the one. If you've got young kids, I mean, we took obviously Lily for the first time in 2022.
Yep.
And she just turned 3, and to see her face light up when she walked down and saw the castle for the first time and meeting Mickey Mouse, it was worth every single penny we spent on the holiday. There are so many rides to talk about in Magic Kingdom.
Packed of classics.
There's just so many of them. You've got, if we had to say our top 3 rides in Magic Kingdom, what would you go for?
Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean, and I've not done Tron, so it's difficult. I can't put that one in there. Probably. I'd be hard torn between Big Thunder and Space Mountain. I don't know which one I'd pick of those two.
Okay, I'd go Space Mountain. Probably Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Yeah,
that's a bit of
modern day classic.
Yeah, it's a bit of an updated one from Big Thunder. Whereas you think of Big Thunder and you think it's going to be this great massive ride, and it's more catered for children.
It's more fun.
Oh yeah. Back in the day, obviously, when it was Splash Mountain and not what's it called?
Tiana's
Bayou Adventure.
Yeah, so it would have been Splash Mountain, Space Mountain, and probably Seven Dwarfs for me. Obviously, haven't ridden Tron, but I expect Tron would be there now.
Yeah, I've got friends who have done that. I've got friends who have done Tron, because I've not done it. But my friend he and I have very similar tastes in coasters. And he said it's good. The reveal of the track itself when you get to the loading station is incredible. But the ride is just too short for how long you actually wait in line for it.
Yeah.
Go on, Mikey. Sorry, I jumped in.
I go Seven Dwarfs. I would go Peter Pan, because that was my favourite Disney film growing up. Never grow up.
Absolutely. It's a trap.
It is a trap. Yeah. I've never done Space Mountain, and we'll get on to why later on. No, I've never done it. We'll get on to why later on.
Come on with me.
Oh my God. Why?
I don't think it was by choice, though. I don't think we were with you when we were... I don't think we ever got round to it when we were in the parks with you. I'm pretty sure.
Oh no! When we did Space, you went to see the Magic. It was on the. We did it on the.
That was when I went to the Kings game.
You went to see the Magic against the Kings, and I did the family thing and went to Magic Kingdom, because it's our tradition is if we are over there, we have two traditions when we are over there. Our time of year that we like to go is Halloween. So last week of October, first week or 2 weeks of November. That way we get both the Christmas and Halloween events. And Magic Kingdom is our go-to on both 31st, Halloween itself. Whether we're doing the party or not, we go to Magic Kingdom. And we also go there. We tend to go there on November the 5th. Bonfire night over here, firework night. So we like to go and pull in a fireworks show, and that's what we tend to do. We hit the fireworks at Magic Kingdom. So I did that. So I couldn't break our family tradition by coming to the Magic game.
Yeah.
Killed me.
Yeah. But I would say that I would say the third one. I would say Splash Mountain, but that is no longer a ride. That's obviously been replaced, so that's to be decided. But I'd probably say the third one would probably be Pirates.
See, Pirate is probably one of those biggest disappointments in the whole park. You go there expecting a lot, and then it's just a gentle boat ride. I don't want to give away too much.
I love a boat ride, though.
Yeah. I get why you like it, and I think it's good, but the expectation for me was up here, especially after seeing, the films and everything, and it's good, but
I think there's better versions of the Pirates ride.
Oh, yeah.
In other parks, like I think it's out in Tokyo. There's one of those where it's a lot more immersive, and you end up, But if there's obviously YouTube videos and stuff on those you can watch, because I ain't going to Tokyo anytime soon. But yeah, I think nostalgia. I think Pirates for me. Pirates, Peter Pan, and Seven Dwarfs. But yeah, Big Thunder's up there as well.
If I've only got time to ride one, I'm riding Haunted Mansion. Absolutely love it. Always have to.
Good.
Always have to.
Very good. Very good. It's funny how nobody's mentioned It's a Small World. Are we going to have a song, Paul? Are we going to break out into a song again?
No. Not a chance.
It's a kid's ride, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is a ride for the kids.
Yeah. No, I mean, Magic Kingdom, you've mentioned it. It's absolutely brilliant for all the children. Some classics in there. Like you mentioned, Peter Pan, obviously one of your favourites. A couple of others. Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin.
Yeah, fun.
Oh,
Decent
Good
one
show.
for everybody, all the family. I like going to the Hall of Presidents because you get aircon and you got a half-hour sit-down, a nice comfy seat, and a little snooze sometimes.
There was me thinking you were a history buff. All it is, it's your afternoon nap.
No. My dad loved going to it. And another one, I shout at my dad because my dad loves going to Disney. The Carousel of Progress. If you've not done that, it's in Tomorrowland, I believe.
Yeah.
It's just behind the Buzz
Transit Authority, isn't it?
Transit Authority and the Buzz Space Ranger Spin. Again, that's another sit down, a bit of aircon. There's a theme here, isn't there? Other than that, the one to avoid for me, the Tiki Tiki Show. Not a fan. and the Bear Jamboree, the Country Bear Jamboree.
I've never done that.
No,
Don't bother.
The bears look freaky.
Yeah.
I know, I don't get them at all. Do you know what? One of my absolute favourites in the park? We've not mentioned. And again, this has got to feature for you, surely, because of it being aircon again. Classic Disney songs, Filler Magic. I absolutely love that show.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Absolutely love it.
And that's
Donald
one you
Duck
can
is featured
easily
heavily.
miss. That's the one you can easily miss. Obviously, when you go into the park, it's to the left-hand side of the castle by Fantasyland, I want to say.
It's opposite the carousel next to. I think it's next to Peter Pan, isn't it?
Next to Peter Pan.
Yeah,
Fantasyland.
Yeah. I think that's seriously underrated. Really excellent attraction for me. Love that one.
The only other thing to mention about this park, obviously, is parades again, midday and 3 o'clock. Obviously, get in line early. You could probably find the route on one of the maps. And something before and after each journey. You obviously have to go in by either monorail or the boat.
Boat, every time.
It's a bit of a faff, though, isn't it?
Do you know what? There's been, Paul, back me up, there's been videos done on this testing the 3 boats, because there's also the bus. There's also, you got the bus,
the bus
monorail,
is
and
the
the
fastest,
boat.
isn't it? Because it drops you right in front.
If you stay in the Disney system and obviously come from the Disney hotel, it takes you right to the front sort of door, bypassing the monorail and the boat. So something to take note when you're trying to plan your trip.
What I am shocked at is Mikey hasn't mentioned Gaston's Tavern and the cinema roll. I am absolutely shocked.
If you can't,
We made
you
pigs
like
of
a
ourselves,
cinema
mate.
roll, yeah, we made ourselves feeling a bit sick after we had enough of them on holiday, didn't we? And the tip, if you ever go to Gaston's Tavern and you get the giant cinnamon roll, always ask for extra icing. And they give you a
Absolutely.
little pot that you can pour a little bit more on over the top.
Or just dip it in.
Or just dip it in and just, yeah.
Yeah, we were, oh dear.
Eat it to
We were
your
an
heart's content.
embarrassment. We were an embarrassment, in all honesty. Have either of you done the Mickey's Not So Scary or the Christmas Merry Christmas Party? Okay. They are, I'm going to be honest, they are now extremely expensive. We've done them, both of them, multiple times. We didn't do them in 2022 when we went because of how the price had risen. However, I will say that there is something very, very magical about standing on Main Street, USA, watching the Christmas parade and it's snowing. Christmas songs playing, different characters in the parade, different shows. The parade finishes with Santa. You can meet Santa on Main Street, USA. It's an expensive thing, but I will say eating Christmas treats and Christmas drinks in Florida heat is a very, very different experience, but one that you really should do. It's excellent. The Halloween one, again, most people go in costume. My tip would be to wear something light. Do not pick a costume where you need an overcoat or any of those sorts of things. If it's a heavy costume, do not go for it.
What did you go as, Paul?
We've done pirates, we've done gangsters, we've done... we all went as Florida Sports one year, so I was full kit magic.
Yay!
Joe went as a cheerleader, Heather had got the Miami Heat on, but we were doing Florida Sport. Hey, mate, it's what it
I
is.
hope she's burned that jersey since.
I don't think she fits in that jersey any longer, pal. It was some years ago.
Give it a charity.
I think it's well and truly died.
Yeah.
And that was good because they were really light, comfortable costumes. We've also done like your Wild West themed stuff as well. Really good fun. The trick-or-treating trails, loads of treats, great stuff. And again, different fireworks show, different entertainment, different characters out in the parks to meet. It's one of the few times that you can meet Jack and Sally out of Nightmare Before Christmas. It's one of the few times that all 7 of the dwarves will be out in one location to have a photograph with. They are good events, but they are very, very expensive nowadays. I will redo it when we go back and I take my granddaughter, without a doubt. Something I've got to take the family to again. 100%. Really good, but they are expensive. I will say that. So, yes, okay. Anything else about Magic Kingdom? G, any favourite eats? I know Mikey had a couple.
Casey's Corner. Casey's Corner. It's just hot dogs, but I always like it. It's at the top of Main Street USA on the left-hand side. There's normally one of the staff members playing the piano. Just a nice, good vibe. There's normally a show going on in front and side of the castle. So we tend to have lunch there every time. And then, the evening varies. But I'm sure we'll get onto that next week in a bit more detail. But
Mikey, what were the spring roll things that you were having? Was it cheeseburger spring rolls?
We never tried them. Yeah, there was cheeseburger spring rolls.
Yeah, I know Heather had them. I thought you had them as
But
well.
I'll tell you, do you remember Sleepy Hollow as well? So if you're looking at the Disney Castle and you turn left, as if you head into
Liberty Square.
That's it. The Sleepy Hollow refreshments.
Just
and
looking
they
at
used
the map
to do
now.
a spicy chicken waffle sandwich, and they used to do a Nutella fresh fruit waffle sandwich as well.
Those things have always been good.
Did you know they've got rid of them?
I know that they've got rid of the. I knew that they got rid of the chicken one. Yeah, I think
they got rid of both of them.
Mad.
They've changed it from a waffle. Because I watch food videos because I'm that sad.
It's all part of planning.
But it's all on a
Shout
Mickey
out to the
waffle
Mammoth
now,
Club.
so it's not quite the same. Yeah, absolutely.
That's where we are.
We'll get onto those. We'll get onto those in a minute, though.
But yeah, okay. Enough of Walt Disney World. Time to move on to Universal Studios. Now, Mikey, you don't tend to do these parts, do you? Not for a while?
No. Becky's... The last time I went would have been 2011, so quite a while ago.
It's a while back, yeah.
Yeah, I see. I love Jurassic Park. I'm not a big Harry Potter fan. See, I know there's gonna be people screaming at the telly now, but I just don't get the Harry Potter thing. I don't understand it. But Jurassic Park, yeah, awesome. All the Marvel stuff. Yeah, they are really good parks. But I would say if you don't like big rides or you're with somebody that doesn't really like big rides, I think Universal Studios is probably something you'd probably steer away of a little bit more. There's obviously a lot more there, but it is a ride. It is about rides there, isn't it?
Absolutely. So, G, of the two of us,
Yeah,
you've been more recently.
I have.
What was your experience of Iron's Adventure? We'll start with there first. What was your experience of Iron's Adventure? I think you had a day?
I had one day where I park hopped. So, but a little bit what Mikey said there. Obviously, we're going next year. I'd hoped that the children, my daughter's 8 and my son's 5. He'll be 6, so next year. She'll be 9. He'll be 7. We don't think they're going to be tall enough to do a lot of the rides. So we're going to give Universal and Islands a miss, and obviously the new park. We'll come on to that a little bit later. So we're just going to do Disney this time. But yeah, I was lucky enough to go in. Was it
January, wasn't it?
February this year. It was.
February?
Yeah, with Neil. So I was lucky enough to do one day, just park hopped between the two. So Islands is my favourite out of the two. I like my big coasters. So I got to spend a day there. I was joined by Philip Rossman-Wright, so shout out to Phil, who joined me to do a couple of rides at the end of the day. So that was really good. So obviously the main one for me, it's got to be the Hulk. You can't not. Yeah, I love the Hulk. Oh, it's so fast. They've just changed the track. Absolutely superb. Mikey's mentioned, obviously, you've got the Marvel Island with Spider-Man, Doctor Doom's Death Drop. And then you move on as you're going around the sort of Lagoon islands to where the comic sort of... what was it? Is it? I can't remember the name of the land now. Is it Toon Island?
Toon Island.
That's it. And then...
it's Toon Island, I think.
You come up to Popeye and Bluto's, what's it called? The Bill's Rat Barge. My God. There is not a better water ride in the whole world than that one.
100%.
You go on that, you get absolutely drenched. And you may as well stay on it. If you get the opportunity just to stay on it, see the new people come on in their jeans and their flashy trainers and see them get absolutely soaked. And it's just funny. You get wet, you're in Florida, you'll dry in an hour. So it's totally fine. Absolutely love that. Obviously, Velocicoaster is the brand new ride. I think Paul pulled a face there because I haven't done Velocicoasters yet. So the queue was 3 hours and I had one day.
There is no way you would put Hulk above Velocicoaster. It's insane.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
but
insane.
With one day there, I
understand that
3
entirely.
hours.
Yeah,
so
100%.
I could do the Hulk 4 times in that time, which I did.
Yeah.
So
understand that. And music by Patrick Stump of Fallout Boy, I think it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the music on the Hulk is by him.
Yeah. Oh, good stuff. But there's just so much to do. There are stuff for kids in the Seuss Landing, which has got the Cat in the Hat sort of area, and a lot of sort of smaller rides. Dudley's, the Ripsaw Falls, that's also very good. There's just so much to do there. The problem is the queues are quite long. So it's very difficult. You know, we touched upon it earlier when we talked about Animal Kingdom. You could do everything in a day. I think you'd struggle to do everything in a day given the queue times on the likes of Velocicoaster and Spider-Man and all that. You know, I walked on Spider-Man. That's probably a bad example. Hagrid's motorbike ride. That's another very good ride again. Phil and I did that. There's so much to do. But one thing I did look up in preparation for this, you can buy a Universal Express pass. So it's very expensive, but it'll get you to the front of each ride once. £86 per person on attraction tickets. If you do want to do it by 2 parks for one day, it's £113 per person, but it will ensure that you get onto every ride at least once. So yeah,
I think
best ride.
I can't remember. I think it's that Hagrid's isn't included in that. I don't think Hagrid's is included in it. The other thing to consider with that, mate, is if you are thinking of doing 2 days in Universal, in Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios, it's also worth considering staying at the hotel, at one of their premium hotels, maybe at Hard Rock or whatever, because Express Pass is included as part of your stay for each night and the day of your arrival, the day of your leaving. So it's worth considering that. But Hagrid's, I absolutely love. Hagrid's, I thought was a fantastic ride, and I preferred it in the dark. I thought it had something extra in the dark. So that would be my tip, to do that in the dark. Velocicoaster, simply put, those two are the best coasters two of the best rides personally I think I've ever ridden. Velocicoaster is so intense, and it feels very wrong sitting there inverting. Your legs are dangling. You're doing inversions. You're doing barrel rolls. You're doing some ridiculously fast, steep dives, and it's all with a lap bar. There's no over-the-shoulder restraint. It feels like so wrong. Feels so wrong. You can see the panic in people's faces as they sit down to do it on the first time. It's like, right, where's the restraint coming over me? Insane, mental thing, brilliant, amazing, day or night. For me, one of the highlights of going in Islands of Adventure anytime is as you walk into the Jurassic Park area. You walk through the gates and there's the John Williams score playing away. Love that.
Yeah.
You've already mentioned the Jurassic Park River ride. Again, I think that's fantastic. Gary did send me a couple of things. He says to do the blue photo opportunity in the Jurassic Park area. That's a great one with kids. Our families must do is One Fish, Two Fish in the Dr. Seuss area. It's a Dumbo style ride, but with water cannons at the side. If you follow the instructions, you will probably stay dry. Alternatively, as an adult, you have to sit on the outside, which means that your child gets to sit on the inside with the control, and they will just take you straight through the water. Americans don't have our sense of humour. We got off that on a particularly warm day. I got absolutely drenched. We get off, and I looked. My daughter would be about 8 at the time, and I looked at this family and went, "Excuse me, do you know anywhere where I can put her up for adoption?" And they just did not get. Heather, 8-year-old, absolutely wetted herself laughing because she'd absolutely drenched me. Thought my line to that was really funny because of what she'd done. These people just looked in absolute horror that was a joke. It's that sort of,
Yeah.
The other thing that I wanted to mention is Dudley Do Right Ripsaw, double dip log flume, great fun. Probably needs an update. It's not really relevant these days, but it's still a great ride. And I don't know about anybody else, but we love Snorkers and Stalkers, the sweet treat place in the Dr. Seuss area. Some fantastic treats and bites there. The other thing in Dr. Seuss area is, in Zeus Landing, is to try the green eggs and ham stand. Really, really underrated food from there. And Gary says you have to have a butter beer. I prefer mine the cold one. He says have the frozen one all day long on a hot day. So yeah, that's his tip on that one. Universal Studios, less coaster orientated, but it's still full of big hitting attractions. Some annual fun events, Mardi Gras, and the incredible Halloween Horror Nights. If I start with this one, because I just want to say that I am never doing that Jimmy Fallon ride again. What an absolute waste of 30 minutes of my life that thing was. Who asked for a Jimmy Fallon ride? We don't have him over here anyway. We don't really see the programme over here. It just made no sense. And I don't get motion sick. Did me. Horrible ride. So Gary also sent me a couple of notes here. He said, do Fast and Furious, for me it's a one and done. He said it's a hard swerve. Don't go near it. The only thing worth doing it for is hearing Vin Diesel saying the famous line from the film. Men in Black, fan?
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Good shooter.
And fun fact: Philip Rossman-Reich was on that ride as a cast member for a month. So shout out to Phil again. He was, yeah. Probably the best ride to be on with the aircon. It's a theme, yeah.
Transformers, seriously underrated. Gary's favourite attraction in the whole of the park. Diagon Alley. I know, Mikey, you're not a fan of the Harry Potter stuff, but as you step through the theming into Diagon Alley, it's so immersive. It's incredible. Gary also says that you'll thank him later to do the Bourne Stunt Spectacular. I would absolutely agree with him. First of all, again, 30 minutes, 40 minutes in aircon, but the show is just incredible. Really, really excellent. Absolutely love that. Horror makeup show, I find that hilarious. I think that's really great fun. The other thing that Gary said to look out for is the characters walking around. He absolutely loved the interactions with like Doc Brown and various characters like that. Was the Minion shooting game open when you went?
I believe it was, but obviously I was on a tight schedule, so I had to be very particular where I went. So
that looks immense.
Yeah, it looks good. The Mummy Returns, that had just reopened when I went there. That's a classic. Had to do that, so did that. Obviously, you go to us and do the Simpsons ride. Obviously, that used to be the old Back to the Future ride that we all wish we still had. The Simpsons is all right. E.T. is still there, still open. But one thing I just did want to mention, obviously, with both Islands and Universal, and Rip Ride Rocket, before I move on, that's also a very good ride. Obviously, you get to choose your track, so that makes it kind of personal to you. But with these larger rides at the Universal parks, you have to put all your belongings into a locker, which is a bit of a pain, seeing as you've only got 30 minutes for a free locker, and there's the worry of having to pay for it, etc. The problem is your wallet in your locker and whatnot. So I was finding that when I was there as a bit of a stress. So that's just one thing to consider. If there's a way around that, I don't know, having somebody not go on the ride, that would help. But no, you picked up on most of the rides there. I'm not big on Harry Potter myself, a bit like Mikey, but the rides are very good. But yeah.
We've also dropped in a new parade now as well. Dropped in a new parade now. But speaking of parades, Mardi Gras, I don't know if you've done that. That's a fun evening. Some really, really good eats. Gary says that you've got to have the beignets. And both he and I consider that Halloween Horror Nights is literally, it's the dog's danglies of events. It's brilliant. If you are a fan of horror films or horror TV series, go. Yes, it can be expensive. Yes, it's very busy. But you are immersed into what are virtually horror film sets, and you walk through the houses themed to some classic movies and TV series. They all change each year. I've been experienced The Purge, American Werewolf in London, Insidious, Walking Dead, Halloween. There was a Nightmare on Elm Street one year. Really excellent, superb effects. I would also say to make the most of Halloween Horror Nights, use early entry. There is early entry available to you if you are already in the park during the day. It probably allows you to get a couple of the houses done before the full event opens. And this is the only time I'm going to say is I would seriously consider buying Express Pass if you aren't going to go more than once, because the lines get ridiculously long. You can be looking at 2 hours for some of the big hitting houses, and you're talking about 10 different scare houses to visit, and that's not including doing the couple of different shows and stuff like that as well. Incredible event, absolutely brilliant. If you're a fan, hit it up, amazing.
Isn't this where you saw Simple Plan as well, Paul?
That was at Epcot. That was at Epcot.
It was Epcot, was it?
That was Epcot, mate, yeah.
But they do have gigs up in Universal as well.
Yeah, part of the Flower and Garden Festival, that one was. Now, there is a third part coming to Universal very soon, set to debut sometime in 2025, Epic Universe. It will feature lands themed to Harry Potter, around the Ministry of Magic, Super Nintendo World, How to Train Your Dragon, and one celebrating Universal's classic horror movie characters. There's going to be a hub area also connecting all 4 of these lands, and that's going to contain 2 attractions, one of which, can't wait for this, is going to be a dueling roller coaster. Sounds amazing. Got to be experienced that. So yeah. Now, final ones virtually the final ones that we're going to talk about. There's a couple of other bits we're going to pick up on. But SeaWorld and Busch Gardens. I think you did SeaWorld last time you were there?
I've not done SeaWorld for a little while. Probably.
Oh, right, I thought you did it last time round.
I would say.
I apologise.
No, it was one. It was one I was going to consider, but I didn't end up doing it in the end. I did that one day at Universal, and obviously spent a lot too much time doing the magic, the lightning, and the solar bears. Obviously, it's changed SeaWorld, hasn't it? Back when I first went, back in '97 and '99, it was all based around Shamu, the killer whale show, etc. They had maybe the one coaster. I think Escape from Atlantis had just opened.
I think it's time to move on. We'll do the SeaWorld and Busch Gardens. We haven't got much more to talk about. Both run by SeaWorld, focusing on thrill rides and conservation message. Each park is also home to a Halloween event called Hallow Scream. SeaWorld, roller coasters meets the ocean, shows, aquariums, family attractions. So I think I'm right in saying that I'm the one who's been most recently of the three of us. Mikey, whilst as you've been? G?
10 years, yeah.
Similar for yourself, isn't it, mate?
4 or 5, yeah.
Okay, so if I say, for me, I was last there in November 2022 again. It has lots. Both of these two parks have a heck of a lot of excellent coasters. Start with SeaWorld. It's got some brilliant coasters, but my problem I had with both SeaWorld and Busch Gardens when I last went is that it seems to suffer from having a lot of areas and rides closed down due to technical difficulties, which feels more like it's an operational decision not to have to pay staff to man that area. So they've got 2 or 3 rides down that forces everybody onto another ride at the time. It feels like a bit of a operational decision to say. Now, that being said, when I last went to SeaWorld, yes, it had those issues, but I still got everything done very, very comfortably and multiple times. Absolutely love Mako, Kraken and Manta. 3 really excellent roller coasters. There are a couple of new ones opened since I last went. Looking forward to trying those. I say I have a friend who has a very, very similar taste in coasters to myself. And he says that the surfing one is, it's okay, but he's a big fan of the most recent one, the
Icebreaker.
Icebreaker's okay. It's nothing to write home about, mate. I did that one. It was. I wouldn't queue for longer than 20 minutes, half an hour for it. Half an hour is a real stretch. It's another one themed around shark, I think it is. I can't remember what it's called now. But he says that both those 2 new ones are excellent. One far superior to the other. Animal attractions, we're not going to go into the controversy around this particular park. Everybody's got their own opinions. However, I will say if you decide to go and you want to go, then those animal attractions are absolutely excellent. The whale and dolphin shows are both superbly entertaining. Very different to what I first experienced when I went, but they are. Where else are we going to see a killer whale and orca? It's the ethics side of things. I understand people's concerns. I really do. For the little ones, the Sesame Street area, the stuff there is excellent. Really, really well done. One of my favourite things is the Shark Aquarium. Absolutely love walking through there. And be prepared if you're going into the penguin exhibition for the cold and also the smell of it. They are not the freshest smelling creatures by any stretch of the imagination. And I think they're still doing this. At the Sea Lion and Otter Stadium, they used to do a show there called Seymour and Clyde. That's definitely changed now. But get there. If you're going to go to this show, get there early. Get there a good 20 minutes early. There is a mime artist at the start of it who escorts people. The guy is really, really funny. It's the best thing about the show. Love it. And wet ride. I've got to say, Infinity Falls at SeaWorld is a spectacularly good water ride. Really, really excellent. Journey to Atlantis, yeah, you can get wet on that one as well, but spectacularly good. Infinity Falls, absolutely love it, but you can expect a queue for that one. Busch Gardens, think of a zoo with a great range of thrill rides. Pretty much as I've said for SeaWorld, this operational technical difficulty. But Falcon's Fury, Shikra, Iron Gwazi, Serengeti Flyer, Cheetah Hunt, Cobra's Curse, they are all must-do rides and coasters. Really, really, really excellent. And personally, I still love Montu and Kumba. Really excellent. So, moving on from SeaWorld and Busch Gardens, I want to come to the water parks because I know that we all enjoy these. So there are 5 water parks in Orlando that we're going to quickly cover. 2 are run by Disney, Blizzard Beach, Typhoon Lagoon. 2 are run by SeaWorld, Aquatica and Discovery Cove. And then finally there's Universal's offering, which is Volcano Bay. Boys, talk to me. Who wants to go first? Go on, Mikey.
Let Mikey go first.
Volcano Bay, I would say, is the best out of all 5. I don't know. G's done. We did Volcano Bay in 2019. Would you agree? Would you say it's the best?
It's a tricky one because I don't like the queuing system there.
Do you not? See, I think that's the advantage. So you got you wear tapoos. It's a bit like wearing a little wristband, and it's a bit like the virtual queues you get at Disney, where like on Guardians of the Galaxy, where you basically get a return time to go back and ride it, which is great. So they got the Aqua Coaster, which is the big like raft ride that goes up and down the slides that sort of goes in and out of the volcano. That can get quite long wait times. So it's definitely the sort of ride that you want to tap in, get a return time, and then you can go around the rest of the park and basically jump on all the ride now rides. And then you've got the, it's not a lazy river. I forget what the name of the river's called, but it's basically a fast flowing river with rapids and you have to wear a life vest and all that sort of stuff. That's a really good laugh. You've obviously got the big wave pool in front of Volcano Bay. I think the ride system allows you to go off and do other things, not just standing in a queue for half an hour to an hour to get onto a ride, which I think is where the advantage is. Whereas like Disney's Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon, I don't think the wait times for the rides aren't as high. And obviously peak time in the summer and spring break and these times of the year, of course it's going to be busier. But yeah, you've got Crush and Gusher, Typhoon Lagoon. That's a really, really good ride. You got, there's just so many.
Humongous Cowabunga is the other one in
Summit
Typhoon
Plummet
Lagoon.
is very, very good. Yeah.
And then obviously in Typhoon Lagoon, you've got the surf pool with 6-foot waves, which is great fun for weather, is it? So it's just a shame Typhoon Lagoon got rid of the shark reef, swimming with the sharks. Yeah. That's one thing I did love. You mentioned Crush and Gusher. It's got Catch a Kiddie Creek, so there's areas for the children in Typhoon Lagoon. You've got the Ski Patrol Training Centre at Blizzard Beach. Blizzard Beach is my favourite out of all the water parks, and nothing will ever top it. Obviously, I love Summit Plummet, Slush Gusher, Teamboat Springs, the mat, what was they called, the toboggan races, I think that's called. Blizzard Beach is my pinnacle. It's just enough to do there. You can get it done in a day. There's not too much of a queue normally. Get some slushies, get some ice creams, have a beer. Yeah, love Blizzard Beach. But the problem is with Disney's water parks is normally one's open or the other one. I mean, I just had a look today. Typhoon Lagoon's open. Blizzard Beach isn't open. When I did go in January last year, luckily for me, Blizzard was open. But of course, then we missed out on Typhoon, which is a bit of a shame. It's just a shame that both of them aren't open at the same points. But they're all great water parks. Can't fault them.
There's also a party that they do this time of year, H2O Glow at Typhoon Lagoon, which is they basically have a big party. You can do all the rides in the dark. There's different snacks and treats and stuff that you can get that aren't available during the day. And there's a few videos I've seen. A lot of people seem to say that's another another ticketed event that's worth going to as well. So
Yeah.
H2O
Yeah, it does
Glow
look
is
good.
one to look out for.
I think coming back to Volcano Bay, that you've been talking, for me, the theme park food in Volcano Bay, there's some really good food to be had. A couple of the restaurants in there for just sitting down to eat your stuff, quick service stuff. Really good food in there. I know that Discovery Cove is a different aspect as far as any of the water parks are concerned. It's a very, very relaxing day. I personally very much like it when we go and do that. We haven't done it for a while. It's not cheap, but you've got your food in for the day. We always get there. If it says opening time is 9 o'clock for the water park, it's actually, you can probably go in from about 8 o'clock, 8:30, and that then you've got your registration process done. That then ensures that you are first in the line for when the breakfast bar opens, because you want to get breakfast, you want to get lunch, and you want to get an evening meal as far as you can before the park closes, because you get your value out of the food in there. But I'm a big fan of Aquatica. I've always really enjoyed that one. It somehow has a more relaxed feel as far as the water parks go. I think because it's probably one of the least popular, it doesn't get the crowds in the same way when we've been. So that tends to suit me quite well. But before we move on, I just want to pick up on one more point about Discovery Cove. I've done both the swim and non-swim versions of your ticket. Mikey, I know you've been also. I would always say, as I said, go early, get there get there as much as you can. Is there anything that you particularly like doing apart from crashing and relaxing on the beach and there, and then visiting the stingrays and the like?
I think 2017. Me and Becky went. I definitely, your tip about going early is definitely a good one, because obviously you got your food included all day, you got your drinks. It's good to get there as soon as it opens, load up on some breakfast, find a spot on the beach. Plan your day, obviously, around your dolphin swim if you've got that booked. But yeah, I think there's a bird aviary with like a slow river that goes through it. You've got like the coral reef with stingrays and stuff in that. If you don't like cold water, be prepared, because it is ice cold.
I don't know why that surprised me the first time I did it. Really surprised me. We sort of stepped in and it's like, oh, hello.
Yeah. And when it's hot, you think, oh, this would be nice, but it's almost too much.
It's so obvious that it's going to be cold. But yeah, that really did shock me the first time.
Yeah. So, that was really good. It's just a nice, relaxing day, to be honest, Discovery Cove, isn't it? You can just go at your own pace. Gia would be happy because you got all your alcohol included. So you can fill your boots.
We used to do it on the two occasions we've done it as our first day. We've landed, and that's been our first day after all the travelling. And
nice.
The fun of running around, getting your accommodation, bags emptied and all these sorts of things. It's been a really excellent first day, and then we hit SeaWorld straight after. Once you've done your day at Discovery Cove, start using your SeaWorld ticket. And head in there. That's what we've always done, and get a few extra hours.
I don't think there's anything else we've missed. Is there anything else you can think of that they've got?
No, I don't think there. We spent an age on the lazy river, and to be honest, it's all about the food, the drink, and the relaxation on the beach for me on that one.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, just to add on to it is expensive. I did look up how much it would cost. With a dolphin swim, it's $221 at the moment for an adult, $158 for a child. Obviously, that's a bit less without the dolphin swim. You've got the options of cabanas as well, haven't you? If you're flash and you've got a lot of money, that's $200 a go, and you've got to book that, I think, when you're there.
But here's one big important thing to remember: if you buy Discovery Cove tickets, you've also got, or I don't know if it's still the case, you used to have SeaWorld for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
you have to upgrade it. There's 2 different levels. You can just have
really?
Yeah, I think you can just have the day at Discovery Cove, but then there's also the option to have SeaWorld and Aquatica, SeaWorld, Aquatica, and Busch Gardens as well.
Yeah,
but I think all British tickets, certainly those that I've had from our Partners Attraction tickets, include parking at the Busch Gardens.
At the car park.
Any of those Anheuser-Busch, as used to be, parks, SeaWorld parks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, excellent. Let's just have a quick focus on some of the other attractions. I have no opinions to offer on these because I've done none of these. Mikey, I know you've been to a couple of them. Kennedy, for one of them, Kennedy Space Centre.
Yeah. So you got Kennedy Space Center, which is the visitor complex at NASA's Kennedy Space Center down off the coast. They've got like historic spacecraft. They've got one of the old space shuttles that you can sort of walk through and walk around, which is quite a cool thing to see. If you love space, it's just brilliant. And even if you're not, I would say there's plenty of like interactive things there that can get a lot of people interested, especially for the kids. For me, the highlight is the bus tour and going around and looking at the vehicle assembly building, which when you drive up past it, it is massive. Where they obviously put like they used to put the shuttles together, and obviously rockets now. And then they take you on a tour of the complex. Now, I remember doing it as a kid when I was like 15, and they used to have like a viewing point. And they go right out near the launch pads, and you could go out and have a look. You wouldn't be able to go right out to the launch pad, but there was a viewing area that you could get pretty close to it and have a good view. It's just fascinating to go and watch and go and have a look at, really. And then you got an IMAX theatre there with different shows and stuff on. There's the Rocket Garden. It's just, if you like space, it's a great day out. I was lucky in 2011. I went to see Discovery, so it was the third to last space shuttle launch that they ever flew from Kennedy Space Center. It was probably one of the longest days I've ever had on holiday. We got picked up at, I think it was something like 5 o'clock in the morning, and we booked this through Virgin Holidays. So if there's any like experiences like that Kennedy offer, you can normally book them through Virgin, but or attraction tickets or whoever. But yeah, you get picked up early, you get taken out. Now we've had about 3-4 hours in the visitor complex. Then you can go around and look at everything there, but it was so busy because everybody's there for the space shuttle launch. It was just shoulder to shoulder with people. And then you get on a bus, and then you basically go out and you basically sat on a grass bank, and they got like barbecues and food trucks and all sorts of stuff, and you just sit there chilling out in the sun to watch a space shuttle launch. They nearly cancelled it with 30 seconds to go. Bear in mind, this was like 4:30 in the morning, and we'd been up since 5 to get there and go and see it. But luckily it went up, and it all went smoothly. But yeah, and we didn't get back till about 10 in the evening. So if you do go to a space shuttle, they don't do space shuttle launch. If you go to a rocket launch, then be prepared for a long day. But it is, for me, it's worth it. It's one of those things you can say you've done then. But,
Yeah, we didn't actually go out there for a shuttle launch, and I'm very pleased we didn't, because the one we were over there, we should have been over there for 2, launching on 2 different holidays. The first one, it got cancelled and moved back a few days, by which point we just went to, how sad is this? And it's ridiculous that you can actually see quite well. You can't see the launch, but within 20 seconds of it being launched, you could actually see it. We stood on the multi-storey car park that's at the side of the shopping mall near SeaWorld, one of the, is it Prime or Premium, whatever it's called?
The Premium outlets.
Yeah. And stood on the roof of that car park, and within 20 seconds of the shuttle going up, you could see it. Yeah. You could see all the separation took place virtually over Orlando. It was really good. So that was, but because of the age of my daughter at the time, and then, as you say, the length of the day, we decided against it on that one. And then, unfortunately, the second time, it should have been launched, which we were going to go out to, but they cancelled it about a week before we were due, so we hadn't actually booked anything by that point. And we would have been also there for it landing, had it gone up on time, because they used to bring it in over Orlando as well. So I was really disappointed on that one. But I know you were mentioning something that you'd been some years back and enjoyed the food.
a bit like Mikey when I was about 14. I don't remember a lot of it, but I just remember me and my brothers being in the gift shop and them having freeze-dried food, like what the astronauts have. And I think I had freeze-dried ice cream at the time. I can't remember how it tasted, but,
It's pretty good.
When in Rome,
Hey,
give it a go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good stuff.
So yeah, it was pretty decent in fairness. Whilst we're on, whilst it's with me, I've just pulled up the Discovery Cove Ultimate Package details, and just to confirm, that ticket, including the Dolphin, does include admission to SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, and Aquatica for up to 14 consecutive days.
Yeah,
so
cool.
That is a really good ticket and something to do.
Superb. What about any of the other attractions? I mean, there's things like Icon Park, which is Sea Life Aquarium. There's Madame Tussauds, Gatorland, Fun Spot America, Legoland. Have you guys hit any of those?
Yeah, Gatorland I've done before.
There's no chance G's hitting that one, is there?
You wouldn't be getting G there. It's we had this joke, didn't we? That we were going to go for a playoff trip, go to Gatorland, and do the zip wire across the lake. There was hundreds of gators below you. So yeah. I'd be all over that. G.
Never. Not
a chance.
That. I'd rather do a bungee jump than that.
You won't even wear Crocs because of the name.
No, Gatorland's a really, really good day. I would say, it's maybe not a full day. Well, there might be more there now. It's been quite a few years since I went, but yeah. If you're like me and you love your reptiles, alligators, crocodiles, turtles, and things like that, yeah, they've got everything there. But it's a good day out for me for sure.
And we're very much guessing that things like Legoland, Madame Tussauds, and Sea Life Aquarium are going to be kind of akin to what we have in the UK. So if you,
I would have thought so.
Well, we've done Legoland recently, haven't we, Mikey? You and I separately, but looking at the map, looking at what they, what they can offer you, it's more catered for smaller children. Something a bit different to Disney and Universal. So it's a decent option as an alternative when in Orlando. Madame Tussauds, we know what that's all about in London. Sea Life Centre. I mean, if you go to SeaWorld, do you want to go to the Sea Life Aquarium? Probably not, but it's something on a smaller scale. If somebody perhaps doesn't want to push the budget out to go to SeaWorld, and the like. I'm
guessing that some of these options as well can be... my wife and I have considered doing a trip where we don't actually do the parks. That we go over there for the basketball, as that's one of the big things. Go over there for the basketball, go and see friends, and perhaps do some of the other options that are available, be it, we'll talk about boat rides in Winter Garden and things like that, potentially on one of the later episodes. But we thought about perhaps looking at some of these options as being different things to do. So, yeah.
I know Icon Park, I've never been. We've walked past it when we've been up and down iDrive and driven past it, but I think they do a multi-ticket so if you want to do Sea Life and Madame Tussauds and the Icon Park wheel, I think you can buy tickets where it's all combined as well. So yeah.
Excellent, boys. Okay, so before we go, just going to shamelessly plug ourselves. Why not join our True Blue UK community of Orlando Magic fans? If you are a Magic fan, or you've been to a game, thinking about it, it's worthwhile doing. Available for a single £5 per month membership. You can join our monthly prize draw. You can hang out with us on WhatsApp, and also we have a monthly online meetup. We've also done a UK meetup as well for people to get together. We're still looking at different options on those sorts of things. So if you're interested in joining, visit our Patreon, which is patreon.com/Let's Talk Magic to join today. The next episode that we are going to do is going to be all about the food, the dining experiences, retail therapy, and we're going to be looking at different experiences of accommodation options that are available. So everyone, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please give it a thumbs up. Leave us your thoughts, any questions, and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. You can also like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, at X, all at _Let's Talk Magic. So from Garant, Mikey, away on holiday Gary, who put his money's worth in here tonight, and myself, until next time, as always, as we say, go Magic.